In this video, I'm going to walk you through what it looks like to meditate on a gospel story. I'm going to walk you through the 5 steps so that you have a better idea of what the steps can look like for you. I'm going to be looking at Matthew chapter 8 with the story of the leper coming to Jesus to be healed. First, I'm going to read the story to myself just to get a flow of what's going on here. Sometimes as I'm reading the story before I meditate, a word or an idea or part of the story sticks out to me. I don't know if that's God directing me to meditate on that or if that's just something that's interesting to me, but I like to go in that direction with my meditation or to at least write that down. After I've read the story, I'm going to go through the 5 steps. I'm going to picture Jesus in the story. Then it says that Jesus came down from a mountain. There were great multitudes following him. And so I picture that. I imagine that part of the scene unfolding like a video to me. I picture Jesus coming down from the mountain. I picture this lone leper approaching Jesus and this large crowd of people behind him. So just in doing that part alone, there's already details that stick out that make the story more vibrant and real. I would picture the leper approaching Jesus saying, "If you're willing, you can heal me." And then I would visualize Jesus putting his hand on the man saying, "I'm willing, be cleansed." And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. After I visualize some of the details or all of the details, I'm going to start writing down my thoughts, my questions. I could even write down the actual verses if I want to. I'm going to write down, Jesus came down from the mountain with a great multitude. And behold, the writing helps me focus on the details, and already there's like a contrast here when I'm writing of Jesus came down from the mountain with the multitudes. That's a large number of people. That's Jesus. That's a very important busy man coming down. And then there's a shift in the story and it says, behold. And now there's a contrast with one man approaching this significant busy man with huge amount of people behind him. And now we see that one person in this large crowd. So that detail just sticks out to me as I'm writing. There's something with writing that makes us focus, that helps to be clear, but then even just the visual of seeing the words as we are writing it down is so helpful. My Bible meditation journal is messy. I circle, I underline, I write the same thing again. I might repeat myself. Behold, pay attention, just thoughts. Jesus, you had 1,000 or thousands following you, and you stopped for the one. So I'm just going to stay right there for a second. So I visualize Jesus, I write down some thoughts, I write down part of the verse, I could write down some questions, and next what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray and sing some of these same ideas back to Jesus. Now I'm really going to enter into another step of meditation. Jesus, you had the thousands following you. You had a lot to do. You had a lot of people to take care of. And this one singular leper comes up to you and you stopped for the one. I'm going to picture all those details as I'm praying it. You stopped for the one. You stopped for the one. Going to write down those thoughts again. Remember, writing is a prayer. Jesus, you stopped for the one. You are not too busy. For anyone. Wasn't a king, wasn't a soldier, wasn't anyone that could help Jesus. You care about the well-being of the outcast. I'm going to pray those same things back to Jesus. Jesus, you care about the one. You see the one person. You are approachable. You're not too busy. God, you're not just looking to help a certain category of people. I'm picturing the man with Jesus right now, worshiping at Jesus' feet. Jesus, you took the time to be with this man. So that's praying those ideas. You might be wondering, what does singing those ideas mean? I'm going to sing my thoughts just spontaneously around these same ideas, and then I'm going to make up a chorus, like a sentence or half sentence, and I'm going to sing that chorus a few times to Jesus, not to perform for you. This is actually what I do. I'm going to sing the truth to him, and that helps me go deeper in meditation and grow closer to him and experience him even more and experience the truth of this story in my heart. Jesus, you're not too busy for the one. You had a multitude behind you, yet your eyes saw him, your heart saw him. You slowed down for the one. You slowed down for the one. Made in your image, made in your image. As I'm doing that, there's more thoughts that come to me that this leper was made in Jesus' image. And it just took me back to that Bible reference we talked about in the earlier chapters of us being made in God's image. And I just thought of this man was made, just like Adam and Eve were in Genesis 2, made in God's image, and God loved him and desired him and cared for him and was burning with passion and was affectionate towards this man who was made in his image. Made in your image. You had compassion. Jesus, you stopped for the one. Jesus, you care for the one. Gonna write that chorus down. Jesus, you care for the one. So now on my iPad, I've got a full page, though my handwriting is big and I'm doing a lot of crazy stuff on here. But I'm gonna go back and just look at this. And I don't have to keep moving on. I'm just gonna look at this and go, Jesus, you care for the one. And I could just stay there for however long you have chosen to meditate. If it's 20 minutes, if it's 30 minutes, you could really take that entire time easily and just focus on this one idea. Jesus, you care for the one. I'm gonna ask Jesus some questions. Jesus, what were you thinking about this specific man? What did you know about his life? Because you were a prophet and you were the Son of God. What was his facial expression towards you, and what was yours? Did he feel safe? Did he feel confident with you? When he approached you, was he nervous about the crowd? Was the crowd saying anything about the man? What was going on between you two? So those are the kinds of questions. That's a lot. You don't have to have all those questions, but I'm just visualizing the scene. I'm focusing on the detail of the guy with Jesus, and I'm just letting the questions come and then asking questions to Jesus that would be invisible things in his heart. Jesus, what were you feeling? What was your tone of voice? What were your motives? Things like that. That engages you with Jesus as a person in the story. And that's the goal, is that intimate interaction with Jesus as a person in the story. So I'd write down some of my questions. Jesus, what did you say? What did you feel? What was your facial expression? Some of you might think that's a funny question, but it's because what was Jesus doing in his face? And facial expressions communicate so much. Was Jesus mad? Was he sad? Was he distant? Was he bothered even though he's going to heal the man? His facial expression means a lot in communicating who he is and what he's feeling towards the man. What was your facial expression? How safe did the man feel with you? So we've asked the questions. So I'm visualizing the story. I'm writing down my thoughts, my questions. I'm singing and saying my prayers to Jesus, and I'm asking questions. And then the fifth step is just to do all those things again. And so I would just pray, Jesus, what was your facial expression? And I would visualize that. What was Jesus' face looking like as he looked at the man? What was happening in Jesus' heart as he was talking to the man? What did Jesus feel when the man said what he said? He said, Jesus, if you are willing, you can make me clean. Jesus, what did that do to you? When he said those words and you saw the leprosy on his skin, you knew the suffering of his life as a leper. What did that do to you when he said that one sentence to you? What did it do to you, God? How did you feel when he spoke to you? How did you feel when he spoke to you? All right, this is getting good. So I'm really engaged. My mind is pretty focused right now. Sometimes it's not as focused right away, but now that I'm writing and asking some questions and I'm getting into the story, and honestly, I've meditated on the story quite often, and this feels like one of the first times. This is such a cool moment and I've meditated on the story before, but this feels fresh and alive to me. I'm able to picture Jesus. I'm able to be focused on him because of these different ways of engaging in meditation, and I'm excited to be here. What I like to do also is I like to circle things as I'm praying a phrase or reading something. I like to circle or underline things in my journaling. Jesus, what did you say? What did you feel? What was your facial expression? How safe did the man feel with you? And I'll write those questions again. I will say those and I will sing those. I can just stay in one truth or one idea for as long as I want to, for that one meditation time, or as many days as I want to. Because there's no reason to move forward to another Bible verse. There's no reason to move forward to another story, because my purpose is to explore, enjoy, and experience Jesus. And I can just sit here on these ideas and meditate on him and imagine those things happening. And that's when the experience increases inside. Something I really enjoy doing in meditation is once I've read the story and visualized the different parts and written some thoughts and ideas, once I'm into it a little bit, I love to pace and walk around the room that I'm in and either carry my Bible or carry my journal. And I like to repeat the 5 steps of the meditation process while I'm walking around. That helps me focus, it helps me get my body moving a little bit, and then I can just really connect with God while moving. I'm picturing Jesus coming down from the mountain. He sees this man, and the man begins to approach him. Jesus, what did you feel when that man asked you the question? If you are willing, you can heal me and cleanse me. Jesus, what did you feel when that man said that to you? What did you feel when he asked if you're willing? What feel when he asked what you're feeling? I would conclude my meditation times at Jesus' feet with Jesus' facial expression. It says he put his hand on the man, and I would ask the question to Jesus, Jesus, if you're willing, you can heal me of whatever it is. Depression, anxieties, fears, insecurities, shame, whatever area of my life is in great need. Maybe there's a physical issue that I need healing with or you need healing with, so that he can speak to me and minister to me and make this applicable to me, not just a story from the Bible. Jesus, I need physical healing. God, are you good? Are you compassionate? Do you listen? Do you hear? If you are good, if you're willing to extend your hand as God, you can heal me. If you're willing, if you're good, if you're near, if you're compassionate, you can remove this emotional thing in my life. You can remove this thought pattern of anxieties and fears. You can remove this addiction in my life. Whatever it is for you, in a story like this, you can bring that to him. And now the conversation isn't just theology. Does God heal? Does God hear? Now it's you asking him the question. And what I love about this is that those are actually questions that I have and you have. And when we go into the story, we can't just keep the truth about Jesus at a distance. We can't just say, oh yeah, like Jesus hears, Jesus is willing to heal. He healed the man. When we put ourselves in the story, now it becomes real. And now that's where Jesus' truth can be spoken to us and demolish lies that we believed, questions or confusion that we have. So if you need physical healing, or if you need God to set you free from an addiction or an emotional pattern that's broken, and you're like, God, like, why isn't this changing in my life? You can bring yourself into this meditation of Matthew 8, and you can come to his feet and say, look him in the eyes and say, Jesus, are you willing? Are you good? Have you ever seen me in this situation? And you can share your heart with him. And it may be a divine moment where Jesus wants to remind you and speak truth into your heart, that he does heal, that he does hear, that he does care, and that he stretches his hand out and ministers to you as one individual, no matter who's around him, that he cares about you. So I would visualize myself there and conclude my meditation time. And hopefully I'm crying. Hopefully I've expressed some of my offense or my questions, my concerns, my fears, and that story and me putting myself in the story makes everything more real and tangible, and that I walk away from this time with one little bit more of friendship and intimacy with God through meditation.